Welcome back to the Big Frog Podcast. I'm Lincoln Hurst.
And I'm Max Watson. Today's topic is, are fairy tales good for children? I think there's two sides to this.
I believe that they are not very good for children because they can inspire children to do things that they wouldn't normally do and wouldn't normally say.
Like what?
Like
what?
Like trying to beat someone up because they're like, well, this guy beat up this knight beat up this other knight with a sword, and so that kid's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna do that.
But I think they're good because there's a message to the story.
Well, the message is bully your friends.
No, that is not the message. Like, let's take three little pigs. Okay.
Three fat little pigs, right?
Yeah.
In the goofy wolf.
So on the bad side, there's just eat your neighbors.
Yes, eat your neighbors.
Well,
little kids are gonna start eating their neighbors. They're gonna start trying to eat their neighbors.
No, but on the good.
But the wolf is not the neighbor, so they're just gonna eat anybody, and they're gonna become cannibalists.
But on the good side.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being cannibal, but
Okay, okay. On the good side, that you should always take more time in what you need to build a house.
well, you could also just hire someone else to build it for you, or just get a pre-made house. Building up a house will maybe throw them into they'll have no money because houses take forever to build and a lot of money to make.
So that's why it's that you need to make your own, or just try your best to make good things, and then you won't get eaten.
So you're threatening children.
You're trying to teach.
It's a threat to children.
No, you're trying to
build your own house or get eaten.
You're trying to teach the children that they are the pigs and not the wolf.
But what if one of the children looks up to the wolf?
Well then that's why there's other fairy tales.
Other fairy tales?
Yes,
for example, what? Like what? Tell me.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
The Beanstalk is money.
Is
Jack is climbing all the way up to the top, and then he goes all the way back down because he was too greedy. The moral of the story is to be greedy.
No, it's saying what happens if you're greedy.
And it's a bad thing to be greedy?
Yes, bad thing.
No, it's not.
And so then people don't look up to Jack and they don't be greedy.
They'll look up to the Beanstalk though, because it's a Beanstalk and you have to look up because it's the big one.
Oh. But the big, tall, terrible giant.
And what about the giant? What about the giant? The giant is gonna they're gonna look
the
up
big,
the giant.
tall, terrible giants in the sky.
Yes.
Those giants.
Yes, those giants that are at the top of the Beanstalk.
Those things that he stole. Those are it's showing how you shouldn't steal. Let's say that those giants.
Well, maybe they want to steal because Jack stole and they look up to Jack.
No, because Jack, bad things happened to him because he got greedy.
Did they though? Did bad things happen to him? He got rich.
Yes, but also nobody loved him.
Well, his mom ended up loving him because he was rich.
You know that.
So if you get rich,
so he sold.
The moral of the story is if you get rich, your mom will love you.
No. No. So at the beginning of the story, he sold a cow for some magical seeds, which
beans.
Beans.
That's why it's a beanstalk.
Sorry. And anyway, these beans, magical beans. Come on, that's so dumb. So. No. So magical beans, but he's I'm just gonna buy them anyway, cause he was greedy.
No, he just needed to buy something because the cow is worth nothing.
No,
she has flies in her eyes.
That cow was keeping him alive.
No.
So anyway, no, that. Okay, so if you don't get Jack and Beanstalk, Little Red Riding Hood, okay? So we're back. We're back with the wolf. We're back with the wolf, okay? And then there's a little. There's nothing to laugh about.
That was ridiculous.
So there's a wolf, and a wolf, a little girl, and there's a grandma. Okay.
Grandma, isn't it Granny?
Granny, same.
Granny is not a grandma; it's a granny.
And so, what do you think what it would teach?
The antagonist.
Yeah, but
The antagonist is Little Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood. Why do you think the bad guy is Little Red?
Little Red, cause she's wearing all red, and she's like, well, I'm out for blood. She's like eating all the sweets on their way there.
That did not happen.
She ate all this. She ate like all the stuff that she brought for Granny, and so she's trying to kill Granny. In that way. So she is the antagonist, but the wolf actually kills them, but he gives them back up.
I don't remember that part. So what? You know, did you listen to fairy tales when you were younger?
No.
And look how you turned out.
What? No, I read them now.
Now.
But no,
see?
I don't.
And look how you are now.
Well, I know about them now.
And look how you are now.
And I'm just fine now.
Oh.
Little Red Riding Hood is the antagonist. Protagonist is the wolf.
Okay, do you think you're a good person?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know about fairy tales.
I'm not the wolf or the little girl.
You're the grandma.
No. I'm the guy. I'm the baker that cuts open the Granny's stomach.
What's that? That's a
No, not Granny's stomach. The wolf's stomach.
the wolf stomach.
Yes. I know that story is flawed because they can't live without being in all that
Okay,
liquid.
so you think you're a good person?
Are you a good person? Are you the Little Red Riding Hood?
No, I'm not Little Red Riding Hood.
But you're wearing red.
Well, you're wearing gray like a grandma.
Well,
So anyway,
gray Emma.
Don't get too detailed into your physical appearance. What we need.
You are claiming to be Little Red Riding Hood.
I'm not claiming to be Little
to
Red.
be the baker that cuts open the wolf, and the wolf is the protagonist.
Protagonist.
Protagonist is the wolf.
Okay, so if you think you're a good person, and you
We're
know so
circling
much,
back to this now.
and then you know so much about fairy tales, then that must mean fairy tales are good.
Fairy tales are not good.
But you said you're a good
I
person.
read them for this podcast and this podcast alone.
I don't know. And you're good. And you're a good person.
I am
You're
a good person.
You're a terrible person before this.
No, I was a good person before this, and I'm turning into a worse person now because of all this stupid story tales.
Okay. So, okay, but you just said you were a good person.
I am, but I'm turning into a bad one because this episode.
So tell me. Tell me why you think they're bad for kids.
Because kids don't need heroes in their lives that are not real, that have set expectations that are too high for our way of living in the real world.
So you think
Nowadays.
So you think that all kids are just gonna look up to the villain?
Yes. The villain can be anybody, though. That's the thing. You can look up to anybody, like the grandma. She's also an antagonist if you think about it.
She's not a bad person.
She is a bad person if you think about it.
How?
She decides that she's going to be like her selfish and she's going to get sick and die. But then...
What? What?
She's really selfish in that way.
I don't think you know much about Little Red Riding Hood.
I do. Have you ever thought about Granny's perspective?
So
Never. Have
so
you?
she's sitting in bed because she's super sick, waiting for her granddaughter to bring her
And the
food.
granddaughter ate all the fruit.
She did not eat the food.
Yeah, she did. She ate all the fruit.
Okay.
Now Granny's going to die because of Little Red Riding Hood.
No, because...
And she was out for blood like her little cape, like
She
you.
did. Okay. So you think that all kids are just going to look up to Grandma?
They're going to look up to Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf. And everybody in the story can be a bad guy if you can think about it.
And there's not going to be a single good guy.
Not really.
Why?
Well, because if you think about it, if everyone's
about
a bad guy,
Okay. If you think about it, they're all good guys.
no, they're not. The wolf can be considered a bad guy.
And
The Little
he is.
Riding Hood can too. And the grandma can too.
And they can all be considered good guys.
Technically, yes, but those people don't think that way.
Alright, what is a story where they can't all be considered good and bad guys?
Well, like Princess and the Peach.
Princess and the Peach. Princess and the Pea.
Yeah.
That
the Pea.
that one doesn't even have like a that all that is like
don't sleep with that many mattresses.
that's not. What about Rumpelstiltskin?
She was foolish. Rumpelstiltskin
Yeah,
is a weird name, and you should not be named that way.
That's just insulting parents.
Well, then how about the parents read the fairy tale of Rumpelstiltskin and how he got badly named, and he turns. They're also setting too high expectations. The king is like, I'll marry you if
No, what?
you make gold out of my hay. And she's like, hey! No pun intended. And then, like, you should not be able to make hay into gold. Like, that's a too high expectation. If you can do that, great. But if you can't, it makes you just feel left out.
Okay, so what is bad about that story?
Everything.
Everything. Well,
She sleeps on
that's
like,
showing not to trust anybody, even if they know how to.
don't trust anybody, even if they know how to make hay.
And yeah, and at the end, she's like,
Not even your parents.
it's like you can.
Or your sister. Or your daughter.
It's like, but only if you guess my name, because then he got really mad.
Well, that means you have to have a smart name that makes sense so your child doesn't get taken.
And it shows that you should always
Choose a better name.
No, you should always research people.
Research people.
Like how that person followed Rumpelstiltskin to find out the name, or else bad things would happen to her.
Because he was a stalker.
And if you don't research people, then bad things might happen.
Well,
if you trust them.
He should have. Rumpelstiltskin should have researched the stalker. You know.
He is the stalker.
No, not Rumpelstiltskin is not.
Oh.
The guy that follows him is. And then he finds out.
But
why
it's
is
showing that if
Rumpelstiltskin
you don't
saying his name or in a pot. He's like, oogly boggly, my name is Rumpelstiltskin. It's like he's having a whole concert, and he's like, my name, that's like the whole song. Like, he's like, I'm Rumpelstiltskin, yeah! And is as if he knows the guy is there. The stalker is there.
Well,
what? How?
it's also showing not to be dumb and hide personal info. But to
Personal info. She's asking them to guess the personal info.
like the name. A name. But the thing
And
is,
change your name.
if she didn't
You
research,
have the name Rumpelstiltskin.
if she didn't research that guy, then bad things would have
She
happened.
didn't research that guy.
Yeah, following
That's not research, though.
following
It's stalking.
someone in the middle of the night is the same thing as researching someone on Facebook.
No,
today.
it's the same as stalking someone. In which case, he was.
He was. Who?
And you shouldn't be taking people's children.
Well,
Don't kidnap people.
exactly. But they trusted him. But then they researched him.
They did not research him. They stalked him.
No, that's the same thing back in the old
They
days.
stalked him. It's not the old days. It's the nowadays.
No, because
Nowadays.
nowadays no one's named Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, everyone is. That's why I changed my name.
Really?
Yes.
So if I can guess your name, I'd get to win this conversation.
No. That's not the moral of the story. What is the moral of the story?
That fairy tales are good for children.
That fairy tales are bad for children.
No, they're good.
They cause seizures.
Seizures! How did you get seizures from this?
They have I don't know.
See, exactly. The fairy tales, they're like doing something to you. Because they're wait, no, forget I said that. Wait, no, they're...
See, that proves my point more.
No, they're doing something good to you.
No, they're not. They make you bad and evil people that kill or stalk.
Have you ever followed someone
No.
and you read a fairy tale?
Yes. I have read fairy tales.
Okay, so, and if you didn't read that fairy tale, then you probably would have followed
Well,
someone.
I haven't followed anyone yet.
Yes!
After reading that fairy tale,
So
that
you
fairy
want...
tale almost caused me to stalk someone. But, I would never do that. But I might have if I read more of the fairy tale. I stopped after, the second page. page.
But some okay. But you read part of it, so you partially don't want to follow someone. If you didn't read it at all, you probably
So
would.
what's the verdict?
That if you didn't read it, then you probably would have followed someone.
If I did read it, and so I did.
And now it's holding you back. So
No,
if you finish the story,
If I read it all the way through, then I might be stalking someone right now, but I'm not, and I never will.
you never will because
I never will stalk anybody, because that's not the right thing to do. I'm a good guy.
yes, because you read fairy tales.
Ow. No, wait, no.
Like fairy tales have good messages in them, and it's showing that bad things happen to bad people.
It's showing that good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people, and that's why the story tales are bad for children. They're good for adults, though.
For adults.
Yes. See?
No.
This argument is that they're good for children, though.
Yes, they are good for children.
No, they're not. And I think that concludes
No.
this episode.
Not yet. Not until you admit it.